Hey, everybody, good morning. Ivan here. Hope you're doing well. It is July the 8th. It's a Monday. If you took a nice long holiday weekend, this is your day back to work. This is where it gets real. And it's time for some serious number crunching. So let's talk about numbers. Let's talk about crunching them up. Let's talk about what we're talking about because it's the first of the month, of course, allowing for a little bit of gap there in the timing, but you know what we mean. It is the first of the month. It's also the end of the quarter, and it's also the end of the first half. So there's an incredible opportunity here to take a look at our numbers, our statistics, and our data year to date, kind of see where we are. We can reward ourselves, we can compliment ourselves, we can pat ourselves on the back, but also use this as an opportunity to look ahead. We've got half a year behind us, we've got half a year in front of us, and we can really look ahead to how's this year going to finish up. So let's talk about why this is important. June is over. June's a great month. June is really a very average month. June is not the doldrums after the holiday season in January, February. June is not a high rocket month like September back to school or November, December holidays. June is a very real month. You've got dads and grads, you've got wedding season in there, but you've got a really fair assessment of what your business looks like right now. Also, it's the end of the second quarter, April, May, June. Those 3 months, the April, May, June quarter, is also a very good and a very fair quarter. Again, you don't have the holiday season in there. You don't have the quiet period after the holiday season. Over that 13-week period, every quarter is 13 weeks, 52 in a year, 26 in a half. That 13-week period is also a really great measure of the health of your business. All your 2-week customers, all your 4-week customers, your 8-week customers, everybody's been in during that 13-week period. So again, the statistics bear out a very solid glimpse, look, or picture of what your business really looks like. Now, that being said, we can also talk about the half. Depends on how your business goes. If you're in the barber business, a half's kind of a half. The year is fairly balanced. If you're in the cosmetology business, the year has a bit of a back-end load to it because you've got back to school and the holiday season in the second half. So your first half may not be a true and honest 50%. I think in cos, you can fairly and reasonably hope for a little bigger, better bump second half, where we don't tend to expect that in the barber business. So that's why this is such an important time to be looking at stats. Let's talk about some of those numbers. You want to look at occupancy. I've got other videos that talk about the overall calculation of occupancy, but generally speaking, occupancy is the answer to the question, how busy are you really? When we really do the math, not your gut feeling, not how tired are you, but how busy are you really when you measure how many haircuts did you do relative to how many haircuts you can do. Occupancy held up against capacity. So we use the rough numbers, and play with me here. I want to keep the numbers very, very simple. I want to keep them easy. Your numbers may be dramatically better than this, but numbers are numbers. Percentages work. But I just want to create a picture so everyone who wants to can have a solid understanding of these numbers to be able to go forward with it. So let's say you do 2 haircuts an hour, and let's say you work 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. 2 times 10 is 20 in a day, times 5 is 100 in a week. Your capacity is 100. So you ask the question, how many haircuts did I do in a week? You track your numbers. And if you did, just say 50 haircuts out of the 100 that you could do, you're at 50% capacity. Easy math, everybody should understand. And by the way, anyone can comment on the video, can message me through any of the social footprints out there to dig deeper into these statistics, how you calculate these statistics, or your own personal numbers. And for a lot of coaching and support, go online, go to my Patreon. The link will be in the description of the video. and join the Patreon community there. You can join for free and you can subscribe. Subscriptions start as low as $1 a month. $1 a month. That's it. You can get in on that. So 50% capacity. Now, what I want to say here is you calculate your occupancy, you calculate your 6-week averages for occupancy. We've talked about some of those things in the past, but what I want to talk about here is creep. Occupancy creep. That is you getting a little bit busier every single week, which will show up in your 6-week rolling average. And what I want to impress upon you here is if you can see over a 13-week period a 0.4% increase in occupancy, 0.4% increase in occupancy, that's roughly equivalent to one more haircut a week, basically. Not a lot more than that. But if you can find a 0.4% increase in occupancy every week over a 13-week period, a quarterly accounting period like this, that will take you from 50% occupancy, like we discussed, to 55.2. That is it's better than a 10% increase. Oh, but back up. If you can grow 0.4 point in a single week, it's a 10% increase. It's 5.2% over time. That's what I have here. I'm just looking at my stats. It's a 10% increase over the 13-week period, pardon me, which comes out to be, with rounding, a 21% increase in occupancy over the course of a year. So a 0.4%, less than half a point occupancy increase on a weekly basis over a 13-week period buys you 5.2% for that period, takes you to 55.2% total occupancy, an increase of 10%, and a 21% annual increase due to the compounding effect. So occupancy, it's a big dog for tracking. One of the things you should be tracking at this point. The next one on my list is average ticket. Now, if you just do haircuts and you just do $20 haircuts and all you do is $20 haircuts, your average ticket is $20. That's right. You're not selling anything else. You're not doing anything else. You're not offering anything else. And you're not taking any more money from anybody. $20 haircuts, $20 average ticket. Now, the magic happens when you begin to offer and sell add-on services. Bang trims, beard trims, conditioning treatments, hair color, anything else you can do for more money. We love more money. I love the phrase more money. Hashtag more money. Anything you can do. So, as an example, over the course of a week in which you're doing $20 haircuts at 50% occupancy, as we discussed, if you sell one $5 service in the week, that becomes a 50-cent increase in your average ticket. That means the average time you hit the register, you're making 50 cents more. Now, in the second week, if you can sell two $5 services, that becomes a $1 increase in your average ticket. At some point later throughout the period, if you can get to one $5 and one $10 service, that becomes $15 on top of what you're doing. That's a $1.50 average ticket increase. As an example, and we're not looking for big growth. We're looking for little growth along the way that ultimately adds up to big numbers. 3 $5 services and one $10 service is $25 additional per day. That brings your average ticket up to $22.50. And it becomes a 12.5% increase in your average ticket. So average ticket becomes a very important statistic to track. And it's the driver that encourages you to be offering, suggesting, recommending, and ultimately doing extra services, doing more for people. The footnote on average ticket is the more people buy from you, the longer they will statistically stay with you. So someone who buys a haircut and buys a haircut and buys a haircut, just a haircut, and doesn't buy anything but a haircut, the old industry statistic was they're likely to stay with you less than 2 years before they wander off for some reason. They wind up in another chair. They end up moving, whatever. One service equals 1.5 to 2 years. If you layer in a second service, they get a haircut and a beard trim. They get a haircut and an eyebrow wax. They get a haircut and some hair color. Second service doubles the length of time that the statistical probability is they will stay with you. You'll keep that client longer. It's easier to take more money from a current customer than it is to earn a new customer. That's one of the principles we're leveraging here. As the number of services, what we call line items, the number of things on each ticket or each ring, haircut, beard trim, hair color, bottle of product, those are all line items. The greater the number of line items, the longer the statistical probability that this customer will stick with you longer throughout your career in your time in that shop. That's what we're talking about here. So next up, we want to look at, in terms of statistical tracking, end of the month, end of the quarter, end of the first half, is take home. We alluded to it already. Take home. One bottle of take home a day at $10 a bottle is a 5% increase in your average ticket. One bottle a day. Just one bottle a day. You got 10 customers a day, 10% of your customers buying product, and that's a low number. One bottle, that gives you a 5% increase in your average ticket. 3 bottles a day, therefore, mathematically bumps you 15% in your average ticket. In many cases, there is no better way to earn more money faster off an existing base of customers than by suggesting and recommending professional take-home hair care product. You don't need to do another haircut. This is not labor in your hands. This is not a body in your chair. This Clipper Guy brushless shave sells for $22.50, $25, right about there. If you're doing $20 haircuts, a haircut and a bottle of shave cream, and all your customers are shaving, a haircut and a bottle of shave cream, you've doubled your ticket. If only 2 or 3 people each day do that, that's like you doing 2 or 3 extra haircuts that you didn't do. Not that you didn't get the money for, you didn't physically have to put the labor into those dollars. That's why this is so popular. If you're interested in getting on my product team, you know, we've got the M men's brand, we've got the Clipper Guy products, we've got things like Comeback, which is your hair loss and hair regrowth brand. We've got things like BioVitatin, that is your thin and fine hair product. We've got moisturizing, nourishing, and conditioning products like Curligizer for curly hair. You want in on this product community, just send me a message and I'll jump on the phone with you and fill you in on how you get involved and how you tap into this. We got our show coming up in September with John Amico Hair Care. We've got our cruise vacation coming up in February, and every month, right about this day of the month, everybody gets a rebate check from the manufacturer. So product is a multi-level, multifaceted conversation about how it impacts you. And now you should be looking at those product statistics to understand how much you're in the game and to what extent the game is working in your favor. So end of the month, end of the quarter, end of the half, here we are looking at statistics and numbers. How can I help you? You want to be a $100,000 hair cutter? Hopefully you've already got the book. If not, paper, audio, or digital, the book is available. I'm going to be out and about at shows the balance of the year so we can have a one-on-one conversation. I want to help you build and grow your business. That's what this is all about. Visit me online at Patreon. Let's have some of those conversations. Y'all have a great day, all right? Talk to you very soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.